Hello and welcome to War with a Mate. It's a podcast with me, James.
Me, Andy.
And we're playing the campaign for North Africa. It's a board game. You already knew that. It's not a video game, not a television show. It's not furniture. I mean, to be fair, it may as well be furniture. It's huge.
It's bigger than any table I own.
What it does do is get rid of furniture.
Yeah, deletes it.
It removes it. And we should have removed something, Andy. We should have removed something when we started playing this game.
What was that?
Hubris. Victory has defeated you.
I've not felt much victory.
That was Bane.
I was aware it was spot on.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm even wearing the Bane mask right now. Bought it from Tom Hardy himself. What do you mean,
We'll be all sweaty from filming.
Yeah, well, to be fair, it's been a while since that came out.
We'll get musty.
Yeah, it does still smell like him. It smells like Tom Hardy. Vanilla.
Ooh.
I imagine he smells like vanilla.
And cedarwood.
The guy is a cheap, own-brand aftershave from Superdrug. We've had a day. We've had a day of it. We've played some campaign for North Africa. Would you believe it, guys? And we've come to some realizations. We've come to some humble truths, which needed to be came to.
Are we doing that first? Or?
I suppose we'll sprinkle it in as
Okay.
we go along. Today was the conclusion of your land movement, Andy.
Yes, which is just two big fights.
Two big fights indeed. All along the big wall. The first one was the 7th Armoured Division against the 1st Libyan Division. The 1st Libyan Division not doing well when they went into that one.
No, they got slammed again.
They did.
But they are refusing to leave.
They are squatting in Sidi Barani.
So I'm going to have to kill every single one.
That is the way it's looking. And the second fight that we had was the Maletti Division, the Trivoli Regiment, and the Bardia Garrison, on my side, up against your 4th Indian Division and
16th Infantry.
16th Infantry. And it was... Well, I've had better fights. I've had worse.
Yeah, I think I got no losses on it.
You got no losses on that one.
Yep.
You lost
5% of the 7th.
Damn right you did. So those guys are digging in. And that's what we covered today. So we opened up, we reassessed the board, we loomed over it like the spectres of war that we are, and we clashed. I had no barrage going for the big fight, but when it came to the 7th, I let off a little barrage. I thought I could blow a bit of ammo, because I was in your airfield, Sidi Barani's airfield, the one that used to belong to you. So I used some of the ammo from there for a barrage. You can only use ammo from an airfield for close assault if it's considered an emergency. And the game leaves the interpretation of emergency to the creative mind of the players. And I'm a creative man. I decided this was an emergency. The 1st Libyan Division are about half the size they were when this whole thing started.
I think if you're actively in combat, it's always an emergency.
No. I wouldn't say that.
Oh, I was backing you up there, but if you want to say it's not an emergency, give me that ammo back.
Andy, I'm nothing if... Hang on, first of all, you don't get the ammo back. That's not how it works. It's not in an emergency you use it, or you hand it over to the enemy forces. Need to put that really clear now.
Misread.
You can't have misread it. It's nothing even close to that in the
I was
rules.
just trying to cheat.
Oh, God, I've got to respect the honesty. It's so brazen. It's so cowardly.
It's not cowardly.
It is. It's cowardly.
It's brave.
But it's brave cowardice.
It's just bravery. It's a bad thing, but I'm brave to do it.
It's sort of like being in an emergency situation and yelling, "I'm going to run away, I'm scared." It's cowardice, but it's brave. To announce it that way.
Brave.
To announce it that way, would you not be afraid to do that? I would.
I guess if you're not going to help, just declare that you're getting out of the way and leave is probably the best you can do.
I would try to slink away. I would try to make an Irish exit from an emergency situation. James, we need your help. He's gone.
Just hands on hips looking around a multi-car pilot. Where's James gone? I've not seen him for ages.
He's hightailed it across the cornfields. He's out of here. I'd love to walk through a cornfield, by the way.
It's really sharp.
You think?
Yeah, I've done
Corn
it.
isn't sharp. Corn's round.
The leaves are.
Yeah, but they're not. You don't get those with corn.
They're the stuff that's sort of ankle to neck height.
Yeah, but we've got to the point now where there's so many pesticides and stuff in plants that they don't grow properly
They
anymore.
don't dull the leaves.
Yeah, they do. They'll be all soft now.
Right.
Everything's all nammy-pammy these days in farming.
All right.
You should see the farming industry these days, Andy. It's not what it used to be. It's not sharp edges anymore.
Farmers are pussies now.
They've child-proofed farming.
Yeah, it used to be a real man's job.
And now they've made it all soft edges. Oh, what are they like? This pesticide, big pesticide.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it's a serious issue.
It is.
I don't think I've ever been personally affected by pesticides.
You
but
almost certainly have.
no, I think I'm one of the few.
You definitely have pesticides in you.
I think I live rural enough that it doesn't impact me.
They're in rural areas. They only make it in the cities in the food supply.
That's a good point. Well, in that case, I'm going to pull together the thing. I actually live in a city.
Where
so
you
I'm
eat
fine.
food.
Barely. I don't think my diet can be considered food.
Look, you're full of microplastics and pesticides, and you just have to live with that.
And the amount of processed food I eat, I'm full of microplastics. I may as well be eating fucking Lego at this point. I think it's healthier than some of the stuff I eat.
Yeah.
But my sodium... Sorry, I just hit the microphone. My sodium-based diet aside, the game, the war, the big war,
Yes,
World War II, the war to end all wars.
the one with a mate.
Oh, yeah, that's us. The one with a mate. And we still haven't... Who is the mate?
We're each other's mates.
I don't know.
We've done this.
I know, but I'm trying to rehash old material.
Oh, okay.
I feel like if we're going to be doing this for 40 years, we need to occasionally dip back into the reserves and pull out some old stuff.
I think if we're going to do this for 4 years, we should maybe leave the foundations alone as we stack more and more of our life on top of it.
There are no foundations, Andy. It's like a game of Jenga. We've taken the bottom off. We've built it back on the top again.
And made it precarious. I would say let's leave.
Right. No, I see. The analogy I've made is actually your analogy.
Yes, thank you.
I forgot how Jenga worked for a moment there.
Yeah.
I thought it occupied non-Euclidean space, but it's actually just blocks on a table. Or, in the case that we used to play, it was on a Lazy Susan.
That did add an extra element.
It did. It was very fun playing Jenga on a Lazy
I
Susan.
forgot to steal that Lazy Susan when we moved out.
It's probably good that you didn't. Our landlords weren't fond of us anyway.
Yeah, I mean, they never gave us our security deposit back, so I should have taken a Lazy Susan.
That's true. And to be fair, we kept the places in fairly good condition.
Yeah.
We weren't belligerent.
No.
We play board games all the time. We're just sort of inane forces that exist. Kind of like what the first Libyan division were today.
Yeah, so they've been having a real rough go of it.
They've been getting absolutely battered.
They must be down to... I know it's percentage over percentage each time, but I feel like I battered them for like over half last turn.
You've done some damage to them. They, like I say, I don't even think they're half of what they were. When I looked at the spreadsheet today, when I got them up ready for the combat, just the amount of red from last turn, because I always, every op stage, I'll create a new tab for the units, and I'll mark them in red if they've been killed in action in that op stage, and then in the next op stage, delete those rows for the new tab.
Yeah.
And it just shrunk massively. It was like just partially red screen, and then a tiny fraction of what it was. It's just so ridiculous how many I've lost.
It's good to hear.
But they dug in, they fired off a barrage, and they actually did pin one of your armor.
Yes.
One of the 7th Armoured Division's armor, one of 4 armoured units that you have there. So that was handy to an extent. It didn't really do much, because then you went ham, you attacked them.
I actually didn't use armor for the attack.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, and the difference worked out at 10.
10.
It was a 10. That was with a difference of 5 in the morale, and then a difference of 5 in the close assault rating. I had 2. You had 7.
Yes.
I had 1.6, which rounded to 2.
Right, yeah.
So it was barely there. But I pushed on anyway. It didn't pan out very well. I lost, what was it this time?
15, and then you didn't move, so you lost 25.
No, that was the last one. I lost 30.
And then
which
didn't
went to
move.
40.
Yes.
Because I stayed put. So I lost 40% of the forces involved, which were all of the remaining forces. And you lost 5%.
Yes, which was worked out at 3.5. assault points.
I'll take that. I'll happily take that. I'm getting absolutely battered, and I took off 5% of your guys. That's a win.
Yeah.
The first Libyan division I've written off in my mind. Mentally, they're non-existent.
Which is really not great to hear, because they're very much in my way.
They are. They're just going to stay there. And therein comes one of the revelations we had today, which was cohesion and how it's impacted by combat. So it turns out, one of the things we have been acutely aware of is if you win a combat, a close assault, and you manage to push the enemy force out of that hex through any means during that combat, the attacker, yourself in this situation, you get +3 to your cohesion.
Yep.
That's great. Your cohesion goes up, really helps when it comes to CPA, over expenditure. It helps with combat morale adjustments. It's great to have.
And morale is big.
Morale is massive.
Like, you can get a 6 swing in morale, which is 60 actual points, which is a lot of...
Yeah, that's like
when
12.
a lot of infantry toe has 1 and 1.
Yeah,
it's like 60 toe with infantry.
It's 12 fully stocked battalions for the most part.
Yeah.
That's a crazy difference to have. And cohesion affects that. So my understanding going into today was that cohesion is only impacted on the losing side with the same rules. If I get moved out of the hex, I lose cohesion. Turns out it's not just that. It's also if you lose 30% or more of your forces in an assault. So I've made the adjustments to reflect that, which has put the first Libyan in a precarious position, because now they are in the situation where when we roll the morale adjustment pre-combat, there's now a risk they surrender.
Good.
It's dangerous. They're on -9 now. So if they were to go into the next combat, for example, say I don't move them, and you engage them, they get into a fight, there is now a very material risk that they just surrender.
You might get a Saharan division because your turn's next and they're in contact, so they'll have to fight.
Or break off.
So they might, either break off or surrender. Or, I mean, they've been pretty plucky. They might just stay in City Barani and keep doing what they're doing.
Well, like I say, I've written them off. So if they get absolutely decimated and surrender, that's no skin off my back. However, I would like to have more divisions. So, while I've written them off, that could change immediately when we go into next turn, next play, and I decide to not do that, because I'm a brave coward too. I'm admitting right now that I will change my tactic and my stance in a moment, the blink of an eye, if it means that I win. So I will do that.
That's not even... You've just... Oh, I'm such a coward. Normal military tactics to adapt to the situation.
Yeah, adapting's cowardly.
Oh, okay.
Brave people don't adapt. They just accept the situation as it is. They don't budge. They stay stuck in their ways. And they say, oh, this didn't used to be like this. Oh, it was much better in my day.
Yeah, I do think of those people as brave.
Yeah, that was... what I did there is high art. It's actually satire. I don't believe that, but I made it sound as though I did. It's performative. It's art.
Next thing you know, we'll be on a Have I Got News For You?
No, I don't think I could do that. I wouldn't want to lie on television.
You could just say, no, I don't have news.
That's a good point. I've never actually watched many episodes of that, so I can't really speak to the veracity of how well I do.
Can't really talk about satire while watching that.
That's the only satire.
Yeah.
That's the center column. That's the supporting wall of satire.
Yes.
Well, who needs that when I have the Maletti and the Trivoli Regiment? So that combat was a little different in that I had a lot more to commit to it.
You did.
I came out with 9 actual assault points, not 2, 9. And that was after you pinned a lot of them.
I did.
You pinned 2 infantry and 1 armor with the air stage. You pinned an additional infantry?
Armor.
Yes, you pinned another armor. It was my Trivoli regiment that you pinned. So you pinned quite a few. But I went in with 9 actual, which I thought was pretty good going.
But you did combined arms?
I did, yes. I had enough.
So did you basically just send infantry in? Or?
I had a lot of infantry involved in the garrison from Bardia.
Oh, yes, because they're not in the tank unit, but they're in the same hex.
Yes. So they supported them through that means. They weren't pinned. I had all of them available, thankfully. So that was handy. However, didn't really pan out the way I hoped it would, because despite having those 9 actual points, the difference still worked out at a +8 for you. That was because of yet another 5 differential for morale.
Morale's been fucking huge.
Morale is huge and is continuing to be huge. And on top of that, you committed 12 actual points.
Yes.
Which I was devastated to hear, because I was looking through my guys and going, this is going to be a heavy hitter. And lo and behold, you come in with 12.
Yeah. I mean,
that one was worse because I had a much better chance of taking up to 15% of your guys.
Which would have been a big loss for the fourth, sorry.
Yeah, that would have been huge. However, instead, you lost 0, diddly squat, and I lost a nice round 15. But they weren't pushed. They didn't have to retreat. Nothing as dire as that. They are still in the same spot. They've just lost 15% of their committed strength, which thankfully didn't include all the pinned guys because they weren't overrun, so I don't need to lose anything additional. Just 15% of that 90 actual, not 90 raw points, because it was 90 on the dot, so 9 right in there. It wasn't great. However, my position stays steadfast. I've still got the first Libyan in City Barani. I've still got that little pocket wall presented, so you can't just waltz through there.
No, I am having to fight them. They are well supplied again after the end of Upstage 3.
Your guys are?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, if you're talking about my guys, you're lying.
No, yeah.
So the crux of today that we got to a point of was the cohesion issue was a bit of a revelation. It's not the only thing that we've come to realize recently.
Yes, we got another correction in the email box. So
we
very
did.
much thank you for that. We're going to address it now. And
Yes,
then I guess we'll read the email. So.
Yes, so we had brought to our attention. We've made another error. Would you believe? Now, bear in mind, this is the practice run. There's going to be errors. Errors are plenty, and we also encourage anyone who identifies an error. If any of you out there, aside from our usual suspects who've read the rules cover to cover, some have even experienced playing the game, which kudos. Anyone who comes across any sort of errors that we've made, we do encourage you to send them in. We don't take offense. We take constructive criticism very well.
It's actually very good because it means we can correct them earlier.
We need it.
Yes, we very much
beg
need
you
it.
to give us it. So what we found is that there was an issue with roads. So bombing roads is not the great tactic I once thought it was. Bombing roads doesn't reduce them to nothing. It reduces them to tracks. And then on top of that, roads themselves have a breakdown value. Something that
they half the hex they're going through rather than we were no breakdown on roads.
Half a breakdown point for a road. Doesn't half it, it's just half a breakdown. Again, this is another example of the rules being very not open to interpretation, but being so plentiful. The rules themselves aren't unclear. Some of them are objectively wrong, and we found those and identified them early on and complained about them. But then we've had the audacity to look at the other rules that are very plainly written and get them wrong.
Yeah, I think we'd got into a role thinking we'd got it. As we talked about, we were like, oh, we're in a role now, and we've let some assumptions ride.
And that is the crux of it. That's what we've come to terms with today. We're on turn 4. We're past the halfway point of this practice scenario in its gameplay. We've hit a win condition in the technical sense of hitting what would be a win condition. However, we got a little cocky because we've been playing this week in, week out. We've got very familiar with the structure of the turns in the sense of we know how the turn looks in the way that this happens then, this happens next, A, B, C, D. But there's other areas, construction, some of the things that we often look at out of order. And we also have got into the very destructive habit in this particular game of not consulting with the rules as often and thoroughly as we probably should be.
Yeah, that's really the issue, is thinking we might be able to... Yeah, just the idea we've got 100-page rules in our head, and it's 100 pages of 3 columns of small print.
We thought we had it all, Andy. 2 guys thought that they mastered the campaign for North Africa in its fundamentals after playing it for just over a year.
Boy, were they wrong.
We've been wrong. We got rules wrong a lot. The benefit of this is the practice scenario. Thank God we did this, because this means at the end of it all, what we're planning to do is have a bit of a hiatus. We'll still release episodes, of course, but what we will be doing is reassessing the rules, reading back through them, finding a way to present the rules in a very clear fashion. We want to make something of a guide, and that's something we'll be working on during that time as well. We want to make it very clear as to what the rules are, and that will help reinforce them for us, because there's been so many occasions where we've got something slightly wrong, and we've had a lot of occasions where we've got something completely
Just
wrong.
very wrong, yeah.
We need to be able to eradicate those from gameplay. If they continue in the main scenario, in the full game, it's going to crash this whole endeavor. We can't let that happen. So we're going to take a bit more of a careful approach going forward. We're going to consult the rules that bit more precisely. It might lead to us taking a little bit more time going through the practice scenario, probably even the full game. But it means we're doing it right. And we always said we'd do it right.
Yes, we want to do a proper run rather than something that's not even close enough to call a run through.
We want to play the campaign for North Africa. We don't want to play the campaign for North Africa, Andy and James'
As
version.
we remember it.
Exactly. It's a memory is just a memory of a memory. And it dilutes further. It's not going to be a reliable source to keep track of the rules in our heads. So even if it is something inane, if it's movement, we'll start going back, we'll start reconsulting the rules, we'll double check them, we'll make sure we get stuff right. And again, if anyone finds a discrepancy with what we're doing and what you find in the rules, tell us. Because the likelihood is we aren't doing it right behind the scenes. If we've talked about it on the podcast and it sounds wrong, it's probably wrong. We're just 2 guys, we're human. However, we're doing this, and we committed to doing this. And you're the accountability tool, listeners. You're the ones who keep us accountable, not just so we keep on playing it, but so we keep on playing it right. There'll be certain indulgences that we'll allow when it comes to the practice scenario. We'll be a bit more generous with how we're looking at mistakes, in that we won't go back and redo things, because we don't need to. The mistakes we've made in the past, we can't realistically go back and add the breakdown for every truck that's moved over roads now. It's not viable.
No.
But we can't go into the full game allowing that to continue.
That kind of problem is like a restart problem, because it so fundamentally affects trucking.
Yeah, and trucking is the game.
The game.
You got to fuck the trucks, Andy, and we've been mitigating that completely.
Trucks should have been more fucked.
Which is a scary thought, by the way. Not only is it the fact that we've done the game wrong for a lot of the time, but the game is notorious for being difficult. It's long, it's complicated, and we, in our arrogance, thought that we'd bested it. And we haven't. It's still got a stranglehold on us. It's still winning. The game is still in charge. We haven't won. We haven't beat the game.
I don't think we ever will.
We can, but it's not going to be a sprint. This is a tortoise and the hare situation, Andy. And we've both been that quippy little hare. We should have been 2 tortoises. Tortoises? Tortoise.
Yeah, sure.
We should have been a pair of tortoise. And instead, we've been a pair of hare.
It's pretty grim when we need to stop being the hare and be the tortoise, which makes the stationary game the hare.
And it also means that this very long race, it means it's going to be longer.
It is.
But we're doing this as long as it takes.
And yes.
It just means more episodes.
No one's not. Yeah. We complain about it taking ages, but it's the same amount of game we're playing. We're just slow.
Yeah, it's the same amount of game. We're slow. We get to release more episodes. All it means is more common ground and more history.
Fuck.
And it also means you guys have to send more emails. Otherwise, it won't work. The fear that ran through me that time that we had a dip in the email backlog, and I had to try and think of what we're going to do if we don't have that.
We've become dependent on our accountability.
Yeah. For the first 12 or so episodes, it was just us pleading to have an email so we knew people were listening, and this accountability tool was what we set it out to be. And now it's a case of we lose a segment every episode if you don't email in. Thankfully, we've got a big fat backlog. We've got loads. We've got emails. We've got web forms. We've even got some Instagram messages. So we've got plenty. But we will get to every one of them. So if you are planning on sending something in, please do, because we will get to it. You might have to tune in 50 episodes time to get there. That won't be the case at the moment. But we will get there. We promise to.
People have figured it out and started leaving us. I'm on 30. I'll get to this when you're on whatever, 70.
Yes, people have been breadcrumbing, which is quite fun. We've been getting a lot of messages of people telling us where they're up to. And what is very fun is when we see people let us know where they're up to, and then we get another email a week later and tracking how long it's taken for them to get through 20 episodes. And some of you folk are absolutely blitzing through these episodes.
Love to hear it, though.
I love binging a podcast, and I would love to step into the shoes of someone listening to this, because I'd love to know what this sounds like condensed. Because all I know is how this feels playing it over a year. I'd love to know how the attitude shifts, because I don't know how it shifts over the course of a month, or compare that to a year, or just week to week.
Yeah, it would be interesting. I can't listen to my own voice, so that'll never happen for me, but it would be interesting.
Yeah, I've got to listen to us every single week.
But you like that, though.
I don't like it.
You love listening to yourself talk.
I mean, I do, but I already know what I'm going to say in the episode. What I like now is the free-form nature of I could say anything. Anything, any like spark of genius could come out of my mouth right now, and I don't know until it happens. I've got no metacognition.
Well, it'll happen one day.
It will. It's going to happen today. However...
I'm waiting.
However, before we get to that, we've talked about the gameplay today. That was the gameplay.
Yeah, it was a fairly short gameplay session.
It was. We just ticked off the combat, the end of your movement, came to some revelations about rule checking, and then we're going to go into my movement next time. Which means it's not time for my genius, Andy. It's time for the genius of those who get in touch with us.
Oh, actual genius.
Actual genius. Actual mail. From the mailbag. Our first mail of the day comes from Old Reliable. This is Perrin, who has got in touch before. Hi all. There it is. I hope the holiday period has treated you well. And congratulations on the over a year of the pod. Thank you, Perrin. It's been long. It's felt like a year. From just two people with fun banter as an excuse to hang out, and for accountability, to a full-on podcast with segments, and still with the fun banter, it's amazing to see how this has evolved. It's very wholesome, given that the first 12, 15 episodes were just a sort of mess.
Chaos.
God, remember before we had segments, Andy? It was just stream of consciousness nonsense.
It was. The segments have helped.
They keep us in line. I know the idea of a live show stream has been floated, but one idea that may work within the scope of the game is essentially a stall at an expo, e.g. the UK Games Expo. That way, if you decide to keep playing, you can do admin. If people walk up, great way to chat about the game and the pod, and also would be an excuse to have a break from the spreadsheets. God, yes, it would. And you can always vlog if a live stream is wanted to show off how it looks. I've gone to the UK Games Expo for so many years, and it is a really fun time to just hang out around board game and RPGs, even though it can get very busy. Last email I sent, I was contemplating playing Europa Universalis, the board game which seemed incomprehensible. Now, after your sheer determination and verisimilitude, the box has been opened, and I've managed to find one friend who is willing to learn it, including the AI rules. I think it's AI rules.
I think it's not AI, as in it's a system for doing the non-player.
Oh, yes, I see.
Yeah.
Since we are very unlikely to find a third player, and although there are many rulebooks and flowcharts, we are slowly breaking it down into its simple parts. I shall send an update with the pieces on the board when we get there. Your festive, humble, and full of roast accountant turned forest warden, Perrin. Well, Perrin, your gaming exploits intrigue us because we love to hear when people are getting into wacky scenarios based on, well, anything really. The fact it's inspired by our endeavours is that much more heartwarming.
Love hearing about a niche project.
Absolutely. So I wish you the best of luck with that.
I still sometimes wonder how that guy who's doing every baseball game from the season's getting on.
Oh God, that was June.
Yeah, that was a while ago, but
so that could be any stage by now. But Perrin's just beginning his journey, and I'm interested to get an update on that. May well be that Perrin sent another email. We haven't checked some of the more recent ones.
Very smart approach, breaking it down into simple parts. Maybe something we should have done.
Yeah, well, we tried. We did do that at first. And then we decided to just pedal to the metal and just gun it, thinking that we know what we're doing. Hell for leather, and it didn't work. Now, you float an idea here, Perrin, about the UK Games Expo. And it's something that we've looked at, something that we've considered. And what we will be doing is Andy and I will be attending the UK Games Expo this year, which is in Birmingham in the U of K, the United of Kingdom. We'll be showing up there. We will be there for maybe the full weekend. We'll definitely be there for the Friday, Saturday at least, but probably the full thing. And when it comes to the game, we are trying to figure out how that could work. We've been in touch with the organisers, and part of the logistical challenge is the game itself. It's a big game.
Yeah, we're going to have to take, if we can get to do it, we're going to have to take
the picture frames, the notorious picture frames. We would take the actual game in its current state, or whatever state it's in at that point, probably scorched and burned after I lose another combat and in a fit of rage incinerate it. So we will be going. So one way or another, we will be at the expo. What we're trying to figure out is, can we play the game there? We'd love to do that, give people a chance to see us in action, and also a great chance to meet people.
Yeah,
listeners in the flesh. You can hand us an actual physical mailbag full of letters that you've written to us, and then we can read them out. We can unfurl scrolls. It'll be great. It'll be a great time. So if anyone is attending the UK Games Expo this year and they're interested in a bit of a chinwag about the game, by all means, reach out. We'll be organising something a little closer to the time that's going to be a bit more put together and structured. Right now, all we know is we're going, and the game might be coming.
May or may not have the game with us, but we'll be there.
We'll be there, and we'll have all of our anecdotes. We'll have all of our, I was going to say expertise, but we've kind of shunned that term this week. So, anyone who's interested, get in touch. We'll be checking it out. So that concludes the first piece of mail. Now we're going to go a little bit different. We're moving away from the email inbox. We're going to swoop all the way over to the web form.
We do. We've been neglecting the web forms a little bit, so we'll be. If you've sent a web form in, we're going to be putting them in as well. We'll get to it.
And the pacing of the web form, it's actually starting to overtake the emails a little bit. So we're going to have to shift that focus. The ebb and flow of correspondence is an untamable beast. But we're here with our lasso, two cowboys. So
who know you can never really tame a horse.
Well, ranch hand, Andy, take it away.
Subject.
Andy, that's not part of the email. That's the structure of the email.
History segment for the campaign for North Africa. Happy 2026, gents. I'm sending this after listening to episode 55, Tomorrow Came.
Ah, yes.
In 2 years' time, the campaign for North Africa will turn 50 years old. This means its own development and creation belong in a history segment. There is plenty of time to do research, but sadly Richard Berg passed away many years ago.
A shame.
A common ground we can all agree on is no seances should be utilised for the production of this podcast.
No, we try to stay away from employing the supernatural in our production. That and AI, we're trying to stay away from both of those. However, supernatural, definitely more interesting. I just feel like there's bigger risks involved.
I don't know. The AI seems to be... let's not get into it.
Richard Berger's also done his work. The last thing we need is to torment his spirit.
Yeah, we'll leave the man alone. Two living designers you should talk to are Nick Karp and Joe Bolkowski. They both worked with Berger SBI for many years prior to this game, are in their 70s, and most importantly have appeared on at least one podcast. They both would be highly amused that the campaign for North Africa was finally part of the Friday Night Follies. Just try to find them before a spiritualist is required. Also, Richard Berg produced a game review magazine called Richard Berg's Review of Games. I've not read these directly, but assume they contain the same dry humour of the rules in his games. If Andy's American side of the family lives near North Carolina, Duke University does have a box with the physical issues in their reference library. Might be worth a trip over. A big up to both of you for making this podcast. Let's Play style media has been something I should like, but have always been bored by in the past. You managed to make summaries interesting by bringing the audience into your perspective. This is the closest I've seen any piece of media translate the experience of playing a game, especially one as exotic as this. Know you are inspiring a future generation of media creators. Subtly, humbly, and bravely yours, Patrick. All of those podcast appearances were on Guns, Dice, and Butter, a wargame-focused podcast from a fellow gamer and friend. And also at SBI, most of the staff had to playtest games on Friday. This was known as the Friday Night Follies. Well, for certain, going to give a listen to that podcast to hear any crumb I can find by anyone who actually worked on the game.
Yes, incredible email there, Patrick, because that gives... Well, web form. Sorry, I correct myself. I'm so used to the emails. That gives us some... Well, first of all, compliments. Thank you very much. We want you to feel like you're in the room, that you're in here, all of you.
On the couch next to the celebrity.
Yeah, he smells a bit sometimes, but he's been picking himself up a little bit. I have noticed that. The guy is trying to turn a new leaf, and I can't criticize him for that.
You can't...
trying to resuscitate.
You've got to respect a guy.
He's going to do something good. I can just smell it. And I'm not talking about his BO. But the idea of being involved with this is sharing the torment.
Yeah.
You've got to see us go through it. That's the fun. If we just talk about the game after we finished it, or even worse, if we talked about the game as we're playing it, it would be a very different situation. So instead, we want people to come along on the journey with us. I'm glad you have, Patrick. And it would be so good to be able to speak with some of the designers of the game, to just understand some of the... I know some of the ideas floated as that it was during the monster game craze, and Richard Berg and some of the minds behind it wanted to make a game that really catered to the silly nature of it, make something larger than life. And they have.
I think it was almost a case of, you want big games? Well, here's one you can't swallow, almost.
Yeah.
It was you don't actually want this.
Yes, it's your own personal hell. It's something that you've asked for and you shouldn't have. And we didn't even ask for it. We didn't play monster games.
But a history segment of the actual game is a great idea.
I think, when it turns 50.
Probably on the 50th is also a good time to do it. So thanks for both those suggestions. But yeah, if we can get in touch with any of the designers, we'll have to look into that because that would be so interesting.
Nick Karp, Joe Balkowski, if you're listening to this, which I doubt you are, but on the off chance, get in touch. Drop us a web form. Fire us an email. And if not, we'll try and find you.
Yes.
In a very normal way, in a wholesome way.
We just want to talk.
That sounds worse. We need to stop passively threatening the creators of the game. Having a chat with them would be swell. So we'll see what we can work.
I'd love to hear about these Friday Night Follies. Was it we're doing a campaign for North Africa this Friday? Is that a sense of dread? Or
well, I'd love to know how much of it was playtested.
Yes.
I'd love to know the extent of it, if there's any residual emotion from having playtested that, if there was any concerns that they had about the game maybe malfunctioning late game, any gripes they had with the design, anything they would have changed. So many questions for them.
Oh, yeah.
So if we ever get to pick their brains, that would be outstanding. But I'm also acutely aware that these people made this game some 50 years ago, so it might not be very fresh in their memory, whereas we're doing it right here, right now. That also means, if they're in their 70s, that they are around the same age that we are now when they designed the game.
Probably a bit younger.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So
what have we done?
This. We're piggybacking off their hard work half a century ago.
Standing on the shoulders of giants.
Exactly. And giants they are, because this game has given us something to enjoy every week, and by proxy, everyone who's listening, we owe everything to the designers of this game. So having a chinwag with them would be swell. But until then, we'll just have to put up with each other's company, chinwagging, and hearing some fantastic mail, which you can send on over to us through our email, which is info@warwithamate.co.uk. Our website is warwithamate.co.uk, and our Instagram is just warwithamate. You can fire messages through any of those, and again, we'll be at the Games Expo this year. If you're going to be showing up, let us know. We'll organise some sort of event there, whether it's us playing the game or something.
Just me as in a pub nearby.
We'll figure something
somewhere
out.
On that scale.
We'll get the gang together. We'll answer your questions in the flesh, and we'll even bring along the spreadsheets on a laptop. Who knows? We'll showcase it all. You can have a go.
People are like, why are they having a business meeting in this? I had a look at their screen. It's just Excel.
It's just Excel, and that guy there is just red all over his pages. Don't talk about my game.
Yeah, he's had a bad quarter.
I've had a bad year. We should start separating parts of the game into financial quarters. That's how we should decide.
That's how we break up the seasons.
Oh god, giving this thing seasons would be insane. I'd love a nice hiatus.
Well, it's currently season 162.
This is 63 today. Today's episode 63, Andy.
Oh, there you go.
I see what you've done. You've missed off episode 41.
I thought no one noticed.
Well, there was an episode for some reason that uploaded twice. Don't know if you remember that.
Don't know if that's still there.
It is. For some reason, it's there twice.
Because I just could not find a way to remove that. So it's good it's not being fixed automatically.
Yeah, we occasionally will duplicate episodes. Why not? It makes it look like a bigger body of work than it is. We'll just fluff the numbers. No one will know.
Oh, yeah.
We talk about the same shit every week. If someone listens to the same episode twice, they're not going to know.
An extra bumper every 1 in 60. It's just...
to repeat. No one will know. It's
all
perfect
Vig.
crime. Board game podcast shouldn't have Vig. Well, vigor is what we have, and pluck and courage is what we endeavour to have. And what we do have is a history segment.
We do indeed.
And it's ran by our very own in-house Andrew. Andy, take us away to the past.
The men of the long-range desert patrols were quite a sight on their return to Cairo from a month's trip to Libya. The contrast between the east and west of the Nile is very marked. In the east, the country... At this point, I gave little thought to my future, but had always been interested in boats in the sea. I am more or less in the position of a captain in command of a ship, which is on the point of sinking because errors are present.
We are absolutely not qualified to share views on history. Where are we? When are we?
We are in 1935.
Oh, that's a while ago.
It is.
It's nearly 100 years ago.
Again,
that's scary.
So, observe that anyone who dies for his country is a fortunate man, but death takes what it wants indiscriminately in peacetime as well as in war. It is better to die with freedom than without it. It's a quote from Haile Selassie in July of 1935 to the Ethiopian parliament.
I mean, I kind of agree with that. I'd like to die with freedom.
Yeah.
So I'm on board with that quote.
Yeah, so it comes to the 3rd of October 1935 at 5 a.m. Debono crosses the Mareb River, which is on the border, and advances south into Ethiopia from Eritrea, crucially without a declaration of war. The first issue that the Italians run into almost immediately is they've built boat roads right up to the border, but Ethiopia hasn't, which means once they cross the border, it's mainly trails, which slows the Italian advance. These trails have also been damaged earlier in the year by the monsoon season, so it's really rough going.
This is basically me moving from map C to map D in the game.
Yes, the lack of roads.
Yeah, straight on the track.
But the Italians are using aerial photography to scout, which is a fairly new thing at the time.
Yeah, that sounds an incredibly modern technique.
Yeah. This is maybe one of the first ones. They did it a bit in World War One, but yeah.
1935, hearing aerial photography battered around is not something that I would expect to associate with that time.
The camera was probably the size of like a fridge.
Yeah, it is the plane with wings.
Yeah. So from the north, the Italians have about 400,000 men. It's a mixture of locally recruited like colonial divisions, the Italian Royal Army, and then also an influx of black shirts. They're supported by the Air Force. Leading the assault to the north is General Emilio de Bono, and to the south is that rotter, Rodolfo Graziani.
What a git.
Yeah, he's second in command here, coming from Italian Somaliland, but he is under De Bono's command. The Italians have 6,000 machine guns, 2,000 artillery guns, 600 tanks, and almost 400 planes, as well as trucks, supplies, and support from the Navy. The Ethiopians have about 500,000 men and 400,000 rifles.
Okay.
Of varying qualities and ages.
Just doing the maths there.
Yeah.
That's not
Not
good.
everyone gets a rifle. About 100,000 people went into battle with spears and bows.
Or shared custody agreement of a rifle.
Yes. The Ethiopian army overall had 300 trucks, 7 armoured cars, and 4 World War I era tanks. That's their mechanization.
And World War I era tanks.
Not great.
Fun. I guess if you're against the Italians.
I think even the Italians
Barely.
yeah.
Let's not give them too much credit.
No, their tanks are not great at this time. Who wouldn't have guessed that the tank head wouldn't catch on? With the Italian army, they're also travelling with 200 journalists, because this is very much a propaganda effort as well as a colonial war.
As they all are.
Oh, yeah. So the Italians move south, capturing the town of Adigrat, and then continue on to Adwa the next day. That was the site of their humiliating defeat. Don't know if you remember, it was like the worst colonial defeat against an African force ever.
Oh, yes.
So that was the site that happened. They take this as a massive propaganda moment. They're like, we have avenged this loss to our honor and all this stuff, and
not really, though,
righted the scales. They, however, have faced almost no Italian resistance at this point. The Ethiopians are pulling back and mobilizing. So they've avenged this defeat, but they've essentially walked into an empty town.
Yeah, they've really done great jobs there.
Yeah. So on the 7th of October, watching this happen, the League of Nations reacts.
Rightly so.
They do declare Italy the aggressor in this case.
Would you believe it?
Which is, I guess, good. And kick off the slow process of starting sanctions. I'll give you a list of the sanctions they did get through, and we'll see how effective you think they would be.
Okay.
Proposal 1, ban arm trades to both sides.
Right, hang on a minute. That's insane. That's not a sanction on the offensive force. That's not going to deter the aggressor. They're coming with their weapons already.
Yeah.
That's not a good deterrent.
Oh, okay.
So I'd give that one a 2 out of 10.
Okay. Oh, cool. We're rating these. This is good. Number 2, denying private and public loans to Italy.
I mean, I guess, yes. When it says private and public loans, so does this mean to individuals?
Oh, no, this means, like, governments can't lend them money and, like,
to
banks can't lend money to Italy.
Right. I mean, that is more effective.
Yeah.
Financial sanctions always relatively hard-hitting. I'm going to bump that up to a 5 out of 10. That's going to be something of a deterrent.
Okay.
Strangle their money.
They blocked imports from the League of Nations country, blocked imports from everything from Italy, except gold and silver.
The currency.
Yeah.
The backing of currency. That's falling back down again. I'm going to give that a 4.
Okay. Blocking export of selected goods to Italy. However, there was a proposal as part of, like, this was like 4A on the proposals.
Yeah.
This one got turned down, which was to block coal, oil, steel, and iron from being exported to Italy. So you're allowed to export them to Italy.
So, hang on. That would have been very good. I would have given that a 9.
Yes.
Because you stopped them from having fuel.
The
and
materials for war.
You get rid of the war machine. You get rid of fuel and the metal that you use to make anything in warfare.
Yeah.
And I don't know a whole lot about the manufacturing industry of Italy in the mid-30s, but I don't imagine they have a vast font of metal to tap into.
They need to import it. So this could have been another great sanction, but they pussied out of it. Or, like, we don't want to push them too hard. They'll join the Germans. So what we'll effectively do is not stop them doing this at all.
We'll ban arms deals on both sides. It's an insane proposition.
Oh, yeah.
Were Ethiopia buying a lot of arms at this point in
They
time?
were trying because the Italians were coming.
This feels a lot like when you get caught in school and the teacher isn't really sure who was talking
So
first.
both people get punished.
Yeah, and it's like, I wasn't involved in that. It's like, I don't want to hear it. Both of you, get out, go see the head teacher.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's not fair. This is not an equitable solution.
No.
Especially when it's already not an equitable fight.
And also, again, Ethiopia is a League of Nations country.
Yeah,
It's
so-
not another country outside the League of Nations that's then being sort of, the League aren't protecting them. Their principles maybe don't matter as much. Their principles don't matter, and being in the League doesn't matter.
Yeah, you're sanctioning your own guys,
Yeah.
your own team, for being attacked.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem fair.
Yeah. The British and French also talked about but didn't block the Suez Canal for the Italians, which I don't know if when we talked about with the, I think it was in the Operation Compass one, the distance from Britain to the other side of the Suez Canal is the distance to Australia.
Yes.
Basically the same for Italy. You just go along the Mediterranean instead of down.
Yes.
So-
So it means they can't get there anymore.
Well, that would have been what it meant if they blockaded it for Italian ships, but they didn't.
I'm going to give that one a 10. I think that would have...
If they'd done it, it would have
Yes.
been huge.
Well, that means they can't get there anymore.
Yeah.
So better than removing the instruments of war is stopping them from getting there. So that would have been a 10. You could have had a 9 and a 10 on the board. Instead, you've absolutely whiffed this one.
This is part of why I'm like bouncing back and forth. They've just whiffed the handling of this so badly.
bad.
Yeah. Because their logic for the oil thing is if we don't sell them this stuff, the United States will, because the United States didn't sign on to the League of Nations.
Right, yes.
But what actually ends up happening is the USA increases their exports to Italy, and then the British and French and the League Nation continue going to Italy. So they just have basically
More.
double the fuel. They're like, oh, they'd get fuel anyway. And it's like, you could have cut off a lot of that.
You could have made it so they're just buying from the US.
Yeah.
Now they're buying from both sides.
And I know hindsight's 2020, but this is all to make sure Italy joins the Allies against Germany in World War II.
Yeah. And there is a bit of a sting knowing which way this goes.
Oh, yeah. So on the 11th of October, I'm going to give this a go. Dejazamak Haile Selassie Gugsa, Haile Selassie's son-in-law, defects to the Italians with a tenth of his force. So he takes 1,200 men with him. Apparently before the invasion started, Haile Selassie was given evidence that his son-in-law was on the Italian payroll and just shrugged.
Come on, everyone is dropping the ball here.
Yeah.
This is insane.
This, again, is another PR win for the Italians.
Of course it is. The
Yeah.
son-in-law has just defected.
Yeah. And on the 14th of October, this is actually a win for the Italians in a lot of ways. This is them doing a good thing. De Bono issues a proclamation ordering the suppression and end of slavery. Which is good.
Yeah. It's an interesting time to do this.
Well, you've immediately spotted the problem here, which is this country is at war.
Yeah.
Once they're freed, the owners don't have any obligation to look after them.
That was my immediate thought. Yeah.
Yeah, so De Bono was to write, I am obligated to say that the proclamation did not have much effect on the owners of slaves, and perhaps even less on the liberated slaves themselves. Many of the latter, the instant they were set free, presented themselves to the Italian authorities asking, and now who gives me food?
Right, yeah. See, this
So, good idea, very badly implemented in this case.
worst time to do it earlier.
Yeah, or...
Don't do it now.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, I don't want to say do it later because elongating the slave trade, not a good situation. But during war, you've picked the worst time.
It's badly timed and not really thought out.
Yeah, because these slaves are going to be now without a framework to live within, and the state is not in a position to be able to expand upon its current framework to facilitate life.
No, so they just go from slaves to refugees immediately. There's not like a...
That's a horrible transition, by the way.
Yeah.
Of two things you can go from one to the other of. The only way that could be worse is go the other direction.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the only ways that goes worse.
So, yeah, it's a complicated one. But the day after that, they advanced to the historical capital of the Aksumite Empire in the north, making steady, unopposed progress. The Ethiopians are mobilizing, though, around the modern-day capital of Addis Ababa. Debono enters the historic capital on a white horse, just riding through the streets. But he's being incredibly cautious and methodical, which is driving Mussolini nuts because he wants fast wins and big headlines. Like, Debono's putting effort into building roads so he can, like, have his supply lines. And Mussolini's just like, I need headlines, I need PR, I want to win. Which leads to an interesting thing, because the Italian newspapers and propaganda are saying this war's going really well, but he wants to replace this guy.
Okay.
So he promotes him to Marshal of it and like has him come back as like a ceremonial thing. And then he gets replaced by Pietro Badagoli. So yeah, they're swapping the leaders out here. And while it's all kicking off up north, Graziani's leading forces northwards from the south Italian Somaliland. The Italians meet resistance at the stronghold of Goria, where approximately 3,000 men delay the Italian advance. They're trying to bomb them here, and they're holding off the Italian Air Force with a single anti-air gun and trenches. So they're just like diving into trenches, and then there's one anti-air gun, which is sometimes manned by the commander Afawak. So like the guy in charge of this is sometimes like running up and shooting the only
anti-air gun.
Yeah, and they do manage to inflict heavy losses on the Italians.
That's why, I guess, I don't know, is it because there's less area to target? Like if you've got like a big array of anti-air guns, you can kind of drop bombs sporadically and you'll hit some. But if there's just one, you have to hit a precise target.
Yeah, you've got the one anti-air gun, and they've got like deep trenches. So unless it like lands directly on where you are in the trench, it'll like disperse the pressure waves and stuff.
Yeah, so yeah, weirdly enough, having one gun probably quite effective.
Yeah, that's until the commander gets wounded in a bombing run, and he gets told he needs to go to hospital, and he goes no because it'll affect morale. So he hangs around, and 2 days later, the wound becomes gangrenous, and he dies on the 5th of November. And it turns out he was right, because 2 days later, his men leave.
Oh, great. So, yeah, he stuck around, but
yeah,
he died in the course of it.
Yeah. So after taking the fortress, the Italians are trying to deploy multiple columns northwards from there, and they just get a lot of pressure put on them. To the point where Graziani has to pull these two columns back because his rear is getting attacked so much. That compounded with like heavy rain, the Italians just aren't getting anywhere to the south.
Oh, this is a nightmare for them.
Oh yeah, the war in Italy is immensely popular. Like this is the highest the fascist like approval rating will pretty much ever be. Mussolini's seen as a national hero for standing up to the foreign influence and the sanctions from the League of Nations.
The sanctions are non-existent for the most part.
Yeah, the sanctions are completely token.
Yeah, he's not standing up to anything. He's just doing it because it doesn't
He's
affect
just being
the war effort.
appeased.
Yeah. Funny that.
Yeah. But by December, the Ethiopian army, it's completed its mobilization and is ready for its own counteroffensive called the Christmas Offensive. Their idea was to split the Italian forces to the north, locking it part of them between the Ethiopian center and the Ethiopian right, while the left swung all the way around and went into Eritrea.
Okay.
The Italian Air Force does give them warning of these troop movements, but it tries to slow them with aerial attacks, and it just doesn't work because the Ethiopians know the territory so well. They've got local knowledge. They can like split into small groups and move through like trails and stuff. And this is also where they have a silver lining from their equipment thing, which is you can send like 100,000 men through like mountainous terrain that they know if they don't have like heavy machine guns, artillery, supply lines. So in this case, the Ethiopian sort of lower tech works out well for them.
Yeah, there's going to be a big benefit to
Yeah.
That's a weird swing.
Yeah. So in mid-December, 190,000 Ethiopians clash with 125,000 Italians along their 200-kilometer front to the north. And we'll get to that engagement next time.
It's going to be a mess.
Oh, yeah.
I know that for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know my history of Ethiopia in the mid-30s, but I know this is not going to go well.
It does not end well. There's a separate war crimes episode in this series.
Oh, fucking hell.
It'll either be woven in or just one concentrated. But either way, there's a lot to talk about on that front, which isn't great.
Brilliant. Well, yeah, it's always great when we have to have a little spin-off episode about war crimes.
Yeah.
But it's part of history. We do need to address it. We need to learn about it. And part of learning about it is the uncomfortable truth that the past, a bit like the present, is horrible.
Yeah. And our country completely failed.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, we don't have a historical precedent of being particularly great in every situation.
No,
so
but
it doesn't shock me. But yeah, it's one thing to know about nebulous failings. It's another to hear how precisely bad they were.
yeah.
Just, yeah, token is a very good way to describe it, like you mentioned earlier. It's nothing. It's just saying this is a sanction.
Yeah.
And it's
Doesn't do anything.
no, it's a small tax on. But the thing is, they're invading a country.
They're symbolic gestures against very physical and real violence.
Yeah, it's saying we disapprove of this. Look, and people are being killed.
But also not too much, because please don't go join that Hitler fellow.
Yeah, we still want you on our side, despite the fact that you're committing what I've heard
War
there
crimes.
is war crimes. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of gas.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Which is just gas terrifies me.
It's so horrible. It's such a fucking horrible.
There's just something about the air becoming a weapon
Yeah.
that is just scary. Yeah, mustard gas, chlorine gas. It's just a terrifying thought of that being deployed. Nerve gas.
Yeah, all of them.
Anything that you breathe in and that's it. You're
There's
done.
no, like, fighting. Even if there's not fighting against some of the other, it's like they feel like they're in the world of the physical.
Yeah, like even
That's
if I was
like-
getting shot at by a plane coming at me, I'd be terrified.
Yeah.
But I'd be able to look at it and be
And
able, when it's coming at me.
understand it, yeah.
It's coming at me. If it fires and it misses, it loops back round. I've got time to duck, and weave, and move out the way. I can go somewhere. If gas is there, it's like if I breathe now, I'm just done.
Yeah.
My insides are scrambled. It's over.
And even if I survive the battle, I'm just fucked.
Yeah, a bullet wound you can recover from
Better.
with better odds depending on where you hit.
Yeah.
But if you breathe that in, your insides, especially around this time, medicine not quite as advanced as now, you're going to be a lifelong disability if you have a life anymore.
Yeah, it's so grim.
Almost like there's a reason that you're not meant to deploy chemical weapons.
Yeah, it's like the Geneva Convention sort of nailed that one.
I'm surprised they didn't just pop in a token gesture. If you use chemical weapons, we will stop private and public loans.
Well, the weird thing about the Geneva Convention, from what I've seen, is it's not enforced in the same way a lot of other international law is. It's more of a, well, if you cross this line, it can be crossed against. It's a bit of a sort of mutually assured destruction, but on cruelty.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, if we start torturing prisoners of war, then we don't get the protections.
Which, and this is a grim thing to say, it's weird that that works as well as it does, because a lot of the people who are figureheads of war don't need to worry in the immediate about becoming a prisoner of war. So I'm surprised that they uphold that as well as they do.
Yeah, I think it's because it's on
I
the...
say that, but I don't know to what extent that actually is upheld
Yeah.
in warfare from its inception to now.
It was kind of held relatively well in Europe, from what I've read. Like, officers were treated fairly well. They weren't, like, starving death camps for POWs.
It's less World War II, it's more conflict afterwards,
Yes.
where I'm sort of like, I know enough drips and drabs of history since then in warfare where I'm sort of like, I don't know to what extent that's been upheld.
Well, also, I guess it kind of hasn't in a lot of ways, like the enhanced interrogation stuff.
Yeah. By the way, that's one of the wildest PR phrases to describe torture that I've ever dropped.
Yeah.
Enhanced interrogation is the most corporate way to phrase what is just causing someone to go through the experience of drowning.
Well, it's like a specific phrase to make torture seem boring, so you like miss it on memos.
Yeah,
like,
because torture stands out. There's a very understandable and rightfully so stigma attached to the word torture.
Yeah.
Interrogation, it's questions. Enhanced interrogation, it leaves it open to interpretation. Not anymore, though.
No.
That's now just synonymous with waterboarding.
Yeah.
I hear that, I hear waterboard. And I know that's meant to be the sort of the end point of enhanced interrogation. That's like the worst it gets.
I don't actually think it is.
That's what the only reason I say that is because of a video I saw fairly recently of, is it the former CIA director who's doing interviews at the moment? Director or...
So I think I kind of know who you talk. It seems that like everyone leaves the US military or Secret Service and then like starts a podcast and writes a book. Or
just
like,
yaps about the horrible things that they were involved with.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there was a clip of him saying that that's the worst point, like the end point. And
right, yeah.
in some situations they started with the worst thing. I've got no doubt they've got worse stuff they could probably pull out, to be fair.
There's a liquid that you can breathe because it's got the oxygen in it.
Oh, I've heard. And they like talked about this.
Yeah, they're like, I don't know if it's a sort of proposed or thing or something that's ever actually been used, but yeah, it's this liquid you can breathe, but your body doesn't know that.
So it's the sensation of drowning, but without any of the oxygen deprivation.
Yeah,
of drowning.
It's just.
Oh no, hate that.
You know what? Look, we need a bit of a cheer. This has got incredibly grim.
We're just talking about different ways to torture. This is insane. This is not what the history segment is meant to be.
Do you have a common ground? And please tell me it's somewhat jovial and silly.
They're all somewhat jovial and silly. And I think that is very much what we need now. Common ground, an opportunity for, right now, not just us to come together as friends again during this moment of us realizing our hubris in the game, but also the world's scary.
It's horrible.
So we need, in my opinion, to have a bit of a reset. And now for something nicer. A little oasis in the war. It's time for some common ground. I'm trying the intro for common ground. I'm recording it. Maybe. Yeah. And what better reset than the opportunity for us to completely recalibrate the way everything works, Andy? Your job, public transport, the way you operate every single day. My proposal for this common ground is that for a whole year, we get rid of time.
You're going to have to tell me what you mean.
So it's going to take a little bit of prep time. Ironic. It's going to take a little bit of prep because we're going to have to figure out how some of the emergency things work, some of the core structures of civilization, all the really important stuff like emergency services, medical care. But what I want to do for a year is just reset the board and see what the real schedule should be. So I'm talking, we don't have your usual work schedule. We don't have things operating in usual business hours. We just see when people are wanting to do things and when things are sort of productive.
Okay.
So you've got the 5-day
so you're not
work week.
Getting rid of time.
Well, we can't get rid of the passage of linear time in the sense. We can't get rid of the passage of time in terms of, the dimension that we live in. But we can get rid of the social construct of time. Days, weeks, months, minutes.
For how long?
Well, okay, I see what you're doing there. For a year.
And who's keeping track of that?
There'll be an arbiter who
gets a watch.
There's an arbiter with a watch.
Okay.
But apart from that, we turn off watches, we turn off clocks. we don't need to keep track of time for this, yeah. It's sort of like, you know that film In Time, the one with Justin Timberlake, that should have been incredible.
And was.
It's like the opposite of that. Time is not a currency. Time's gone.
Because you're just removing any scheduling.
Yes, scheduling's gone.
And then...
So you keep your job. It's your job right now.
Good.
You keep your job. You still get paid. But you're not going to work in the usual structure that you do. Your job is... You've got somewhat semi-flexibility in when you could realistically do your job, couldn't you?
Yeah.
You're working programming.
Yeah. There's nothing that means it has to happen between 9 to 5.
Yeah, you can, in theory, put that work together at any time of the day.
Okay.
You just need to have it done so that a client can have what they're after. And this client, when they have this, they can service their customers at the time that their customers want.
Okay.
And it passes on in that way. Public transport as well. To be honest, I think public transport in the UK will have the least issue with. It doesn't follow a schedule anyway.
Yeah, that's not changing anything.
Yeah. All it means is we might have some more nighttime public transport. It'll all be based around the demand, because what we're trying to do is find... Businesses want demand, so now they can restructure it around this demand. When are people wanting public transport? Is it actually around the core hours they've built now, or is that just because everything else is centered around it?
Okay, this is chaos, and it's probably the end of civilization, but I like some parts of it.
Well, we can tweak it.
Okay. Because we do need time. I don't like when businesses have prescribed hours. That doesn't feel necessary.
Yeah, I've worked in a few roles that aren't customer facing, that aren't like admin roles. I've worked in a few admin roles where theoretically my job can be done. I could start at 7 a.m. instead of 9 a.m.
Yes.
And I could have my work done by 3 p.m. instead of 5 p.m. and still provide the same deliverable so that it's servicing things in the same way, just in different hours.
Yeah,
because
if I could set my hours, it would be like 10-8.
Okay, so you'd want a later start.
Yeah.
10-8. We're not 10-6?
10-6, sorry, yeah.
Yeah. For a normal 8-hour workday.
Those 2 hours in the morning are more valuable than the 2 hours in the evening.
See, I would go the other way. I would probably go, I want an earlier start, but there's so many organizations where it's like, well, no, these are the core hours. And I'm like, well, what I think would happen, my personal opinion, is I think if you gave everyone the choice and things end up falling into a natural pattern, I think you'll find that customer contact isn't going to be as early morning for some businesses, and some are going to be very early. I think you're going to end up with a split in industries where you got a lot of people who are early risers and want to go do a certain thing like purchase certain stuff or interact with certain organizations really early on, and you're going to get other ones where they're going to want to leave it till later in the day.
Yeah.
I think it's going to split things. We're not going to have the uniform 9 to 5. We're going to have sporadic spread of different industries working at different times.
I'm up for breaking the 9 to 5 a bit and let people, especially with flexible stuff.
And it also tackles the 5-day work week.
Does it?
Yeah, because some days, maybe you don't go to work. Maybe you work at the weekend. Again, in theory, I'm making a lot of presumptions about your job, but could you, in theory, just bash out a load of work Saturday, Sunday? Get it ready for the next week?
Kind of.
Well, I guess the only thing that's restricting you at the moment are deadlines.
Also, you need to be able to talk to people.
Well, that's another thing. If it's a consensus on the team that they're all happy to do that.
Yeah, but it's more like I knew... If my manager if me and him are like things don't line up, I'll never talk to them.
But again, you'll find that pattern. You'll find a collective flow as a team. You'll find something that works for you because you still it needs to work still.
I would say a thing of they do teams on, they ask you what like shifts you want.
Well, that's another thing. The businesses can choose how they're going to approach the situation.
Because I know a few other people who, would prefer the later, and some prefer the earlier. If you did the team, that gets rid of that issue.
Exactly. I think you've got work, you've got public transport. I'm thinking of the big things that impact me. Retail as well. When people are going out buying stuff, shop opening hours, You've got a lot of shops that are open from... You've got your sort of typical sort of convenience shop in the UK, One Stop, big brand, open from like, is it 8 or 9 a.m? And they usually close at like 10 p.m?
Probably, yeah.
More businesses would probably operate like that.
The one I'd change is banks who are only open during work hours.
Well, that is an insane one.
That's mind-boggling.
Because that, to me, there's so many areas of like sort of customer contact where it's like, well, we're going to be open core hours because that's when everyone else is open. And it's like, well, yes, and that means that the vast majority of people who will be working people during the day can't get in touch with you. And yet your volumes are still ridiculously high. You're still getting huge call volumes as a bank. You still can't handle this. You're still getting people who are traveling to your branches, or I guess not so much these days. Something isn't working. And I feel like it's because we've been in this routine for so long. I think what we'll end up with is a 24-hour cycle of everything working round the clock in a more seamless way. We'll be the world that never sleeps.
Okay. I mean, I don't hate this. I think you went in, get rid of time.
Well, it's got to have a catchy headline.
A bit of an overblown headline, but that's how clickbait works.
Well, yeah, Spotify generates our chapters automatically. I want to see what it comes up with when I throw this one out.
the
James,
amount of
the
time
chronomancer,
becomes an infinite symbol. What's your public transport thing? Do you just want public transport to be on longer?
I just want it to be available for me whenever I want it.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of people out there like me who are too scared to overthrow society. But if they're given the opportunity, they'll get the bus later.
Yeah.
I think that works. That's smart.
Well, part of that is bus companies, like, it should be fine running an empty bus for the one guy who needs it.
I'm on that bus all the time.
Yeah.
When we wrap up the podcast tonight, I'm going to go get on a bus. And for the majority of that journey, I'm going to be one of 5 people. And it's going to be traversing a good, 30-minute journey. 35, 40-minute maybe. And the amount of people that are going to get on there and the fare that they're paying, it's like £2.50 a head. So you're getting, I don't know, £20 into this bus for a 35-minute period. That's going to pay the bus driver, and then you've got, £8 left over? Does that cover the petrol? I don't know how much petrol costs. I don't drive. But what is the upkeep on that?
Well, the thing... it's probably too much to get into, but... yeah, I'm not sorry.
you had a thought there.
I was going to go on a rant, but I'm
no,
not
it's
a politics rant.
Oh, you can't go political, Andy.
Yeah, that's why I stopped myself.
I think I know which direction that was going to go.
Yeah.
I think it's a conversation we've already
Well, you
had.
know.
I know what you're going to talk about.
Yeah.
But this isn't about politics. This is about the way the world is.
Well, I like this. Let's free up some times.
Yes. Let's give it a go. We'll
Yeah.
pick a year, 2037.
Okay, so we've got some time to sort of prep.
That might also be Poncho year. You know when we've got Poncho Day?
That's 2027.
Oh, okay.
Mid-year.
Every 10 years.
Yeah. We'll implement one of our common grounds.
Is it really 2027, Poncho year?
I think so. I'll double
That's
check.
next year.
I think I gave it 2 years.
Oh, wow. We need to get our ponchos ready.
Need to double check.
Well, we've kind of found that common ground then.
Yeah, I like your...
My Moxie.
Yeah, let's have more services available at useful times and more flexibility for people who don't just naturally wake up 9 to 5.
I mean, yeah, you've kind of...
Sorry, I've taken the magic out of it.
Yeah, you've watered down the way I opened that
And we should also go to that big eternal clock Jeff Bezos has built in a mountain for some reason and smash it.
What?
Jeff Bezos has built like a big clock in a mountain for some reason. It's meant to be like, oh, it'll be there for like 1,000 years as like a monument to future generations. I think we should go and smash it.
What's he doing there then?
I don't know. He's building a big clock under a mountain. It's certainly nefarious.
That's some Bond villain
It's
shit.
Vault-Tec shit.
No, I don't like that. I don't think that's a clock. I think that's a countdown.
Let's go smash it.
Right, we'll smash that. That has to be the first clock we get rid
Yeah.
of. Or maybe that's the only clock that runs during this time.
Oh, if you want to know the time, you have to check into a mountain somewhere.
No, Bezos will do something. You'll send us more Heathcliff comics.
That rotter.
But if anyone wants to send us Heathcliff comics or anything that's game-related, game-adjacent, or not really all that relevant, we'll read it, and we'll address it, and it's at info@warwiththemate.co.uk is our email. Our Instagram is just warwiththemate, and our website is warwiththemate.co.uk. Contact us through any of these methods. Let us know your thoughts on the game, everything about it. We'll be at the UK Games Expo in May this year, so if you're tagging along, let us know. And from me, James.
Me, Andy. Stay subtle, humble, and brave.
In the deserts of your hubristic mind, fare thee well, good night, goodbye, get out of here!